Hey, YouTube, the emotional side of weight loss that nobody sees. Every fitness trainer, every fitness influencer on IG to TikTok to YouTube, much respect to them because they do a really, really hard job, especially in the online space. And a lot of you guys do a phenomenal job, right? They can tell us how to track the macros. They can tell you how to, journal. They can tell you all these things. Um, but nobody really understands like what it's like to carry the old you, right? And I'm not just saying that in the weight sense. I'm talking about the emotional sense, the emotional side that nobody really talks about, because the part that a lot of fitness trainers give you is, hey, this is your meal plan. This is this is specifically your macros that you have to hit. This is your workout split. It's been very few that I've come across that will, tell you, hey, look, read these books. You got to work on the inner just like you do the outer. And guys, that's a true thing because you don't just change your body, your identity got to shift. And from someone like who personally speaking, like it's taken a while for certain things to catch up with me because I've spent so much time living a certain way, not necessarily looking a certain way because I've gotten used to, hey, I used to look like this and now I don't look like that no more, right? And that's evident when I go out and I try clothes and I'm like, damn, I used to wear a 4X shirt, right? And then I used to wear a 4X hoodie even when it's like warm outside. So I don't have to, show my body, right? I don't like taking pictures because the camera adds 10 pounds and I've already added 10 on top of the 10 on top of the 10 on top of the 10 on times 10 on top of the 10, right? Like I didn't look the way I wanted to. I got this big old family portrait in my house, right? It was taken back in 2022 when I was easily like 305, 306 strong. And it's like, I look at that picture and it's like, I look at me now and it's like, damn, I don't even, the appearance is cool. Yeah, I was a fat, ugly motherfucker. Oh, I wasn't ugly, I was just fat, but I was a fat motherfucker. But it's like, I look at that picture differently now because I'm like, that's not even the same man internally, right? That man couldn't say no. That man was emotionally charged. That man had a lot of emotional baggage he was carrying. That man had a lot of misalignment he wasn't properly getting right. But I can look in the mirror now and I'm super proud of the man that I've become. I'm super proud knowing that I'm going to put me first from now on, period. Because I get it now. I understand that if I don't put myself first, those little people who depend on me, they can't get the best of me because I'm not where I need to be. Regardless of what life going to throw at me, I've got the confidence now that I'm going to bounce back. I was telling my homeboy today, I was like, bruh, I don't have the level of pride and ego that I used to have. He's like, what you mean? I said, dog, if the job went belly up right now, I have no problem going to work at an ice cream shop or a McDonald's or whatever I got to do just to make sure they straight and make sure bills are taken care of. I was like, the old me would refuse to do that stuff. But I don't care what people think no more. I don't care what people say no more because everybody go through different seasons in their life. And the only time you should look down on another man is when you picking them up off the ground. That's how I look at things, right? So there's a lot of emotional things that you carry that's not seen during this journey, right? It's so easy. It's so easy to say, well, all you had to do is lose 3 pounds a week by not eating like a fat ass. Yeah, but it's not just what you eat because your goals, a lot of people, and this is what I noticed, especially in the car business, I noticed that when these men and women go get these surgeries and shit, it's like they took the easy way out. And I don't fault nobody for doing it. That's your choice, right? But I want my stomach to stay the same size because it's going to be a day where I want a Philly cheesesteak. It's going to be a day where I want 15, 20, 30 pancakes and all this other stuff. And I want to have that stomach ache. I want to have those issues because then after I go to the bathroom, after I feel sick, guess what I'm going to do the next day? Get right back on my regiment and continue. Because I've already made peace with the fact that I'm going to eat clean 95% of the year. But there's going to be every 90, 95, 100 days where I'm just going to decide to fuck some shit up simply because I can. And I'm going to have the buffer to do it. My goal, obviously, I want to live between 11 and 13% all year round. I don't need to be at 10% body fat. It's just the goal, just to say I did it. But that's not something I want to be year round because I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not a physique model. I just want to be a regular ass dude who look good in the motherfucker, make a bunch of money, and exploring, parts of his life that he never understood before. I ain't necessarily got to worry about, oh, I want to explore women. Had plenty of them. That's not even in my fucking mindset. You know what I mean? Like, one thing I had to realize, guys, do you know why your rear view mirror smaller than your windshield? Because you gotta minimize what's behind you and maximize what's in front of you, right? So I don't want to go back to the life of just knocking down different women. I'm done with that. Honestly, at this point, I don't even think love exists in the ways that I would want it to exist. Because as I've gotten to know myself, I understand that the way I gave love wasn't the way often people would receive it. I did a lot of covert contracts that other people didn't even know, right? And I learned it from that book, knowing Mr. Nice Guy. Those covert contracts was real. Oh, I did this for you. I'm secretly expecting something bigger and better back because I went above for you. And I will always let myself down because that wouldn't be the case. And it's like, you have to understand that people are gonna people. You hurt yourself when you have expectations on people. I learned to stop doing that shit. I literally learned to just take it as it's gonna come. I mean, that's just what it is. I'm gonna be cool in my decision. You're gonna be cool in yours. That you have to kill off this current version of you so that real, true version of you can live. And that's one of the things that you battle internally when you're making this transition from shit to fit, right? Because some of your identity, a lot of your identity still hasn't shifted yet. I see plenty of people in the gym and it's like, sometimes they be in there, but the people who in there LARPing, you know what I mean? The people who in there just going there to look at ass. The people who go in there, they ain't got no real intention. It's gotten to a point now to where motherfuckers say, hey man, American guy, he's like, yo man, like, why you do it this way? Oh man, hey, it's just easier for me and it reduces injury and I'm still getting the same effect of the workout. It hit me. I was like, okay, so he locked in just like me. But then you'll go in, you'll see the guys that's just standing around talking to other guys and shit, hogging up the machine. I done got so much of an asshole while they just sitting there on their phones and shit. I just literally walk in like, hey, watch out. I walk in, sit down and do a set just because I can, because they know that they bullshitting. Now, the old me wouldn't have did that. The old me would just like, hey guys, let me jump in real quick. I can jump off sets. I'm not doing that shit no more, right? Because I'm not carrying that emotional give a fuckness anymore. I just don't. Either you gonna move, or I'm gonna move you, or I'm just gonna get in the fuck. I'm just gonna get in your way, because you hear bullshit and I'm here on a mission. I don't have all day to be in here. I love to be in here all day, but I have a job to do after this, and I got to take care of myself first. And that's what we don't do when our identities have not shifted. We don't have the identity and the mindset to take care of each other, of ourselves. You're too busy thinking about everything and everybody else. So I'm not even gonna say it's easy to track your calories, because people who are not serious, they eyeball shit. But it's one of those things to where you have to learn. I didn't do that at first. Back in December when I started again, I wasn't weighing my food. I would literally just go to the store. I would get the beef patties. I would get the broccoli. I would get the potatoes, and I would just eyeball the shit. Now, don't get me wrong. I had a lot of weight to lose. So just because I sectioned them off and they were just smaller, I was naturally cutting down to 3 pounds a week. And I thought I was doing something. But then something hit me. I was like, what if I go get a food scale and actually start weighing my food? That took shit to a whole nother level, because at that point, I knew I was hooked. I knew something just clicked. I was like, you know what? All right, bet. So I started weighing my food, doing all these things. And that's what your trainers, that's what we gonna teach you. But I know for me, I'm going to be more concerned with your emotional state. I'm going to be more concerned with how you feel and what you're thinking, because I can relate to you better than a lot of other trainers, because I used to be severely obese. I used to have to sleep with a CPAP. I used to have to wear the hoodies in the summertime. I used to never take my shirt off at the water. Walking around Punta Cana back in 2021 with a white T-shirt on, 5XL. And a tank top underneath, so I still tried to make it look, a certain way. Bro, I did all that shit. I can relate to anybody that's watching this or has seen my progress and my transformation. I can relate to every single thing that you're talking about. But you'll never know I was depressed and I was hurt on the inside because of how I treated myself. You just saw a motherfucker who had a mean face, who had a crazy stilo, Ralph Lauren from head to fucking toe, couple badass whips and a badass crib. And you couldn't tell me I wasn't the shit because that's what my confidence was. If I had the body that I had now, back then, and the mindset that I have now back then, I would have been a motherfucker. And that's why I strongly feel like God needed to make sure I was humbled enough to handle this shit because I can handle it now. I ain't trying to self-glaze, but I'm gonna do it just a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit of glaze on that glow nut, right? I couldn't handle the attention that I get now. 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. When I was at my absolute heaviest in my life, I could not handle this shit because I still had a lot of things inside of me that I couldn't fight, i.e. lust. It was easy for me to turn down lust because I wasn't desirable. So who the fuck was checking for me? I was invisible. I mean, you had the ones and twos who was, bad bitches, but you had to be real with yourself. The only reason they want to fuck with you is because, for one, they know you smart and they know you got a good job and you got education. So you lose this job, you fall into another one. Women gonna think in the realm of survival. So any woman that wanted to volunteer to kick it with me already knew that they was gonna be straight. But I still had a level of integrity. You know, I was like, man, I ain't gonna do it. I may not be getting things over here, but I ain't gonna fuck that up, right? So I did the right thing. And if I was in this body back then with that mindset, man, it just would have been bad for me. And that's why I tell people, I wasn't fed up at that point. I just simply wasn't. I wasn't fed up with how I looked. I wasn't fed up with how I feel. I'd be on the internet scrolling, see somebody lean and be like, you know what, I can do that. But I didn't have much of an incentive to do it because my life was so great. I was comfortable, right? And for the first time in a long time, I'm very uncomfortable. I'm away from my kids, you know. And it's sad because the baggage that I was carrying emotionally back then, that's the version of me that they used to. And it sucks because now I have to unfuck that mess to show them like, hey, look, guys, I'm not that emotionally charged guy no more. I'm not gonna be yelling and screaming. We're gonna have a conversation. We're just gonna talk. We're gonna do the things that I should have been doing a long time ago. But that's the thing. You never really stop growing. Nobody's perfect. We all gonna make these mistakes. And God knows I make plenty of them. But I've actually learned from a lot of these mistakes. I've asked for forgiveness. If I can't get it, that's not my issue no more. It's yours, right? My children, I've asked them for forgiveness. They gave me their forgiveness. Now I just got to build on from it from there, right? And before that, before I asked for forgiveness for my kids, I was talking to my homeboys, like, guys, y'all got to forgive me for the asshole and this person who I was. You know, that I was just in a different state of mind. But they didn't know what I was dealing with mentally and emotionally because none of them were fucking 300 pounds. None of them was fat bodies. None of them was embarrassed to have to wear 2 shirts in the summertime to go on the golf course to play in the heat, you know, because I was fucking fat. I wore the t-shirt. I wore the tank top. And then I put on a 2 size bigger polo so I don't look as big as I think I do, right? And I don't even come down on people mentally when I see somebody that's super big. That empathy kicks in because it's like, damn, bro, I used to be there. Like one day you're gonna wake up and one day you're gonna get tired of it and then you're gonna go after it. Snoring is a real thing. That shit can kill you in your sleep. I didn't know that. That's why people wore the CPAP. I didn't know that it increased your chances for other things. I think me being morbidly obese caused my pulmonary embolism back in 2019. You know, granted, I was close to 300. I was about 295, but I wasn't over that mark yet. But something happened, and I just got a pulmonary embolism. It almost took me out a couple months before my daughter was born. And then my son would have lost both his parents. And one was completely within my control. It was what I eat and how often I move my body. You know, and I wasn't thinking about those things because I was comfortable. You know, following a regimen consistently will get you to the dream body that you want. But you have to understand that it's deeper than just the dream body. It's the journey. That's all it's about. You are discovering yourself. You're discovering parts of yourself. Matter of fact, you're discovering the you that your children wants to be or wants their spouse to be, right? I would want my daughters to want a man like me now. Damn, he's fit, he's cool, he's calm all the time. He gonna say what he wanna say, but he's got boundaries now, and he always gonna look out for everybody, but he takes care of himself first. That's the type of man I want my daughters to marry. That's the type of man I want my daughters to be with. As far as my son, I want him to be the man that I am now. And he told me that he wants to become the man that I have become. And I was like, damn, that hit me kind of deep, because I understand I'm not gonna lose myself in the chaos no more. I don't want to. You know, I'm so glad that it was Luther Versulian, it was Anthony, it was Ken Hamilton, the ultimate gentleman. It was Ralph Frazier, the calm coach. You know, it was Andy Reid, the fat loss specialist. It's these guys that will tell you, guys, you gotta journal. Because if you don't journal, you're not gonna really be able to express yourself the way you need to. Granted, everybody got their own their way, but if you journal, it's like I'm journaling. I've been journaling for like a cool, like solid straight 2 months or whatever, almost on and off. But I got a feeling that the pain I feel today will have no bearing on the joy that I'm gonna feel next year when I open up my book and I just be like, damn, that's how I was feeling last year. I was tripping out over this. My mind wasn't there because of that. That evolution and that growth is gonna teach you something. You just gotta document it, right? And it helps you so much. Getting your feelings out on that paper changes the perspective of things. You don't have to bottle it in no more. Man, I pray as soon as I wake up in the morning, and I need to pray more throughout the day, to be honest with you. But me journaling while I'm at lunch, my homeboy eating, man, I'm just sitting here just writing my feelings, writing what's on my mind, writing the things that's happened to me, writing how I feel in that moment, writing how I feel about my future. You know, whatever, God see fit for me, I'm going to walk in his light. I'm going to walk in that path. Whatever he has for me is going to be for me. You ain't got to chase it. You ain't got to hunt for it. It's going to come to you when you're doing the right things, right? And this is the emotional side of weight loss. I don't feel it's talked about enough, because as you're going through this journey, you don't know how alone you truly are. It's especially as a man who's going through some shit, especially as a man who still got responsibilities and got the weight of the world on his shoulder. Nobody coming to save us, man. I've said that numerous times. Nobody's coming to save us. So when you out of shape, when you don't take care of yourself, and you still shoveling chili dogs down your throat at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's not, you're not helping yourself, and I tend to get the emotional part down better now, because I can say how I feel. I literally can say how I feel. If something hurts me, I've been doing this lately. Ouch. Ouch what? What you said hurt. Well, you took it that way. Well, you're right. That is how I took it, but what you said hurt me. Please don't say that to me again. Now that you set that boundary and you've made it known that, hey, that hurts me, anybody who continues to cross that boundary purposely, you already know you don't need them in your life. And it's okay to get to that point, because like Nipsey said, circle got smaller, everybody can't go. And there's some people that you want to come with you, but at the end of the day, they're not meant to. And that sucks too. But I've learned that life is going to go on. And man, thank God for some of the people that's come into my life recently. Really, really giving me a different perspective on things. And the first thing they always say, Sean, you always looking out for other people. What about you? Like, oh, I'm always landing on my feet. Yeah, but what if you ain't got to just land on your feet? What if you could say, fuck this, and just take care of yourself? And it'll make you think. Because I promise you, when I get in an emotional state, and that's something I'm still working on. When I get in an emotional state, instead of me taking like an hour to calm down and actually breathe, I take like 2 seconds and I'm like, nah, fuck that, right? And the words of somebody can play on me, and I'm like, nah, fuck that, you right, it might be this. I have to stop doing that. And I've been doing that mostly by just continuing to isolate myself more. It's still just a very handful of people who I talk to. That's it. And they're always saying positive things, words of encouragement. My boy Brent Jules, that man went through some shit. And he straight up told me, bro, he said, Sean, you got to protect yourself. I was like, what you mean, man? This one, bro, it don't matter. Protect yourself. Because nobody's going to care about what you have to do for you. People are only going to care about them. And I was like, dang. And I ain't trying to I ain't going to even put his business out there like that. But he went through some shit to where it opened his eyes to a lot of things. And for him to want to protect me and say, hey, look, bro, I went through this. This is how you protect yourself. And I'd be damned if I didn't do it. I got on the phone quick. I got a whole bunch of shit just lined up for me now. All positive, nothing negative, all positive that's going to look out for me and me only, because I haven't had that mindset for, 7, 8 years now. It's like, nope, gotta look, actually 11 years. No, it ain't just about you. It's about this, that. It's about this person, that person, this person, that person. Not really so much like that no more. I want to be an auxiliary for my children. I want to be an auxiliary for whoever going to be special in my life. I want to make sure that I'm pouring into me so I can give some shit to them. And that means being a true partner, understanding the dynamics of controlling my emotions, controlling what's in here, because your mind will take you places you never thought you'd go. Your mind makes you worry about shit that might not even be going on. Your mind makes you worry, and your body responds. Your mind is there to protect you, so it's creating scenarios in your head, so when you do get worried or something do happen, it hurts less. That's the truth. And when you are a big guy and you walking around 300 plus pounds, like, people don't understand, like, when your brain is inflamed, you got fat everywhere, like, that really affects you. It don't just affect your physique, it affects your self-esteem, it affects your confidence. It affects how you interact with people. It literally makes you the lesser version of you. I don't know too many asshole fat people besides me when I was 300, and that's because I was clocking a heavy salary and I was king of the fucking hill. Couldn't nobody tell me shit. Oh, you fat. Yeah, but look at what you drive. Material shit. But this motherfucker, he may not have had the Hellcats and the Shelby GT500s and the shit I had, but motherfucker took care of his body, and I promise you he was a lot happier than I was. And I see that now. It's crazy. Those Tommy Hilfiger shirts y'all saw me be wearing sometimes, clearance, $12 a piece. You know what I'm talking about? This shirt, $3 off Temu. Bruh, I ain't got to wear name brand no more. I am the fucking outfit. Versus being 300 pounds, you have to wear the clothes, And when you emotionally fucked up from being so heavy, that's what you do. You shower yourself with these material things to take away from how you really feel about yourself. Guys, I can relate. I'm telling you, y'all seen, go to Luther Page. He got our video posted. Go to Luther Page. He got my progress pictures there. I promise you, that guy on the left was me. Yes, looking like a dark chocolate ice cream cone in his bitch. I'm telling you, it was horrible. It was bad. And one of the comments, it actually made me think. One of the comments the other day I looked at, it said, I wonder why she's decided to leave now than when he was 300 pounds, right? And that's crazy because there's actually some people in the world who don't care about that, but there's some people in the world who do want to be the catch in the relationship, who do want to be, the one. Not saying that was her thing, but I'll never know. I mean, motherfucker could say they love you, but we here. And that's a Bernie Mac joke. Well, I love that dude. God, man, rest in peace, Bernie Mac, man. That was funny because that's some shit he would say. But in all honesty, like, some people really don't care about the physical appearance. But you got to care about your physical appearance because you have to show up for you. You have to be the best version of you so that your significant other and your children can reflect the positivity and love that you're giving them because of the love that you're giving yourself. And I'm not all about just motivation. Guys, fuck motivation. It's a quick nut. It's a dopamine. Stop talking to me about, what motivated you? Nothing fucking motivated me. You know what I did? I built discipline. I built discipline as I built this new identity. I built discipline as I decided to where I'm going to invest in myself. I'm still in a bit of debt right now, but I don't give a fuck. If I still need to invest in myself in other ways, I'm going to invest in myself in certain ways because now I ain't got to explain myself to nobody no more. I just do what the fuck I want to do. You know what I mean? And if I want to continue to invest in myself, I'm going to do it. You have to invest in yourself. You'll spend $800 on some fucking shoes. You'll spend $100 on the pre-order for GTA 6. You know, you will spend all this money on shit that's not gonna benefit you. But I'm pretty sure if you over 20% body fat right now, you probably got a annual DoorDash bill of probably at least $7,000. I mean, it's bad enough you fat enough that you don't want to go get the fat shit that's making you fat, but you want another motherfucker to bring you the fat shit that's gonna make you fat. You know how I know? Because I used to be the fat motherfucker who did that shit. And I can talk about you to your face because I know you doing it. Guys, if you look up and you see, tally your DoorDash bill from last year. Matter of fact, started from the top of this year, you probably over $4,500. It's all facts, bro. I know because I did that shit for me. And it was just like that, 4, 5, 6,000 a year on fucking, like, damn, what could I have done with $6,000? A lot of things. But I would have took some of that and invested in myself. But guys, I'll give you the game for free. It's easy. The only need you need to hire me for is fucking accountability, because I'm gonna hold you to the fucking fire. If you fucking up, I'm gonna tell you fucking up. And I'm gonna tell you wasting my time. Thank you. Because somebody had to do that shit for me. And a couple people did that shit for me. Luther Versulian did that shit for me. Tony Drake did that shit for me. Alex Reed did that shit for me. Southpaw Huncho did that shit for me. I learned something different from each one of these fucking trainers, bro. I learned something different from each and every one of them. And everything that I've learned has only made me better. Yeah, I invested. And I don't give a fuck to say. They got a business to run. And they didn't have, you don't have to take clients. But they took me. I paid my money. I learned a lot. And everything I learned from each and every one of those fellas, I'm going to take with me the rest of my life, so I don't do like my daughter said, eat too much fucking peanut butter and get fat again. I ain't letting that happen. I ain't letting that happen, baby girl. That's my little bud, Khalil. I ain't gonna let it happen again. And guys, you got to get to that point too. But I felt the need to talk about the emotional side of weight loss, because nobody can really talk about it if they wasn't 300 plus pounds and had to really grind their ass off to get to 194.1. Yeah, I stepped on the scale again. I'm going to hit 190 before Monday. I'm pretty sure I'm on track. And when I get to 185, y'all will be lucky if you see me again with a shirt on. I'm kidding. I'm gonna have a shirt on. But goals are there for us to fucking crush them. Rules are meant to be broken. But while you breaking rules to get to the best version of yourself, don't play them fucking away games.